Alright, this is Hans 350Z 2007, 6-speed, traction control, cruise control, and we're going to make this guy have white face plates with red needles and red background. Should look great. So let's go in and I'll show you how we take one of these apart. Alright, if I knew where my tripod was, this would be an easier demonstration, or my GoPro, but I loaned my GoPro 2 nights ago to a local MMA fighters crew so they could take pictures. So what we're going to do, you can get these plastic tools at any auto supply. They're about $6 for 3 different ones. We're simply going to pry this part off right here. Doesn't, you know, don't be too rough with it, but I'm going to have to grab it with the other hand. Yeah, I need to pry the bottom, really. Stand by. Well, actually, I just held it with my knees and applied this, and it snaps right off. And to put it on, you just get it on there evenly and push down, and it will snap back on. See, real easy. Stand by. The next order of business seems a little barbaric, but here's what you do. You just grab this plastic, and you just yank it off. It feels like and kind of sounds like it's breaking, but it's not. And I've done it a lot of times. Alright, stand by. Alright, next we're just going to unplug. These are our little side lights on the side of the gauges. And the hardest thing about doing this is getting these back in. And I'll show you, there's a little channel in here where they need to be. So next I'm going to take my electric screwdriver and remove our 2 screws here. Doesn't look like it's set in focus. One, and second one over here. Alright, stand by. For this next part, I think I had an S in there. We just want to simply be real gentle and pry our top piece off. Just go down the row, and now it's apart. But was I even showing? Was the camera even pointing that way? I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I just ran this tool down the seam and got the top off. I have to edit this. The next part is a 2-hander, so I'm gonna have to put the camera down. But simply, I'm just gonna see it's loose. I'm just going to grab the top piece and lift it up, but it's kind of stuck on there. So, but it's plastic, so using 2 hands, you can just pull it right off. Stand by. Actually, I had to pull this little wire out first. I haven't taken it apart yet, but you can see now it will come out. Pull this wire out from this other side on the bottom piece, and there we are. And now it'll just lift right off of there. And I put it. I have a box over here, some foam so it doesn't get scratched, and this back piece can stay on or come off. Actually, better just take it off, and it just slides right off real easy. There's one other thing we'll have to do to get to this, and once again, and be very gentle with these. If you pry them too much, you'll break that little black plastic thing. And it's really kind of a 2-hander. See it dipping forward. You try and use my knee here. But they just come up off the little notch a touch. Stand by. Alright, I have all 3 on the top done. And we can put our tool in here and pry it out. But we'll have to turn it over. And there are 2 on the bottom. Here and here. Once again, you've got to be real careful. I'm going to put the camera down. I'm just going to slide my tool under there and lift it up gently. Stand by. Okay, and once I lifted both of them over the little holder there, it just comes right off. It's real easy. Now, if like your LCD wasn't pushed in hard enough, just put some pressure on it. Make sure it's in good. And to take off our needles, you can use 2 kitchen knives or 2 spoons, or if you have these little tools like I use, simply put them under here. But you see the 350Z needle, how that silver, got to move my solder iron, is in 2 pieces. If you do it side to side, that needle comes apart, and it's quite the bitch to get back together. So this really, I feel really awkward here trying to do this through the camera. But you just put the two tools in there and twist, whoop, and it flew right out of there. Most of the time I put a little towel so when the needle flies over, but luckily it bounced off the big tool chest here and went back down on the workbench. So you just do that for all these when you're taking the needles off. And that is how we take a cluster apart so far. I'm going to stop the camera for a minute now. Got a little ahead of you there. Took off the other needles, just like I showed you how I did this one. And then what I did you didn't see, I just slid this under, and it's got some real light glue on it. You'll feel it coming apart. Oh, see, there, it just made a little pop sound. Still glued down. So you just take this guy off. Then you want to retain your little needle stoppers here. And that's as simple as getting some needle nose pliers. And we probably can't see it very well in the video, but you just squeeze these guys together and they'll fall out. Put them in a little bowl because you'll need them later. Then removing the LCD, this is a very delicate job. I use a 90-degree awl. And I don't even think I'm going to do it with it holding the camera. What you need to do, I guess I can, you push that little plastic post back and pry up. And make sure you're under the plastic white diffuser so your tool's not digging into the LCD. Do both corners and slide the tool under and pry it up. And then gently pull that guy up because those pins are very easy to bend. And then I put it in a little plastic case all by itself till we need to use it again. So stand by. Okay, our last step to taking this apart, and be careful of that little mileage resetter that you don't push down too hard. In fact, let's use our knees. The last step is just removing these 4 screws and taking this plate off. Stand by. Alright, with the screws out, it just lifts off. And this is a funny gasket when you go put it back on. And you'll see just what I mean when it's time to put it back on, because there's only one way that thing goes on there. So, setting that aside, now to get our PC board out of there are just 2 clips here. That's a 2-handed job. You just pull on that little plastic and the board will come right out. Stand by. Okay, and there it goes. And now we have our 350Z main cluster board out and ready to work on. I use one of these X-Acto, it's not really box cutters, I guess the correct word, and it works great to slide in here and get the light bulb right on it and hang it off the table where this is hanging off, and you've got a really good solid little workspace. So that's our lesson today, boys and girls, on how to take apart a 350Z cluster. And this is Hans cluster, which I'm about to remove a bunch of LEDs and change their color. Here we go.